Good evening, folks. You're listening to The Hour of the Time. I'm William Cooper. Boy, I really like that opening. Evan Sweetwater did a great job on that. I'm really pleased with it. Some of you have been going to the website, obviously, have been having some problems with the streaming of the broadcast. When you go buy your credit and you go to the broadcast, you want to listen. It was going for a while and then timing out. Timing out means shutting you off. So if you've had that kind of problem, we have a record of when you purchased credits and when you listened and all that kind of stuff. Go to the website, send an email to Ken, and Ken will take care of it for you, and you'll get credit for that. Okay? We don't want you to get cheated on anything. I personally don't ever want that to happen to you. So, and I do everything I can always to rectify problems. So, if you had problems listening to The Hour of the Time on the Internet, the archived broadcasts, and Ken is busy adding new archived broadcasts now. If you had problems with it, drop Ken an email, go to the website, send a message to the email address, excuse me, on the website, and Ken will take care of it for you. Most of you already did that and already got your problem solved, but just in case there were some of you who, just didn't want to go to that trouble, we want you to go to that trouble. Okay? We want you to. So please do that. Sold 3 cameras already. 3 cameras already. One of them really isn't sold yet because we don't have it. Somebody bought the black body model of the Canonet QL17G3, and we don't have one in stock. So I'm trying very hard to find one for the person who ordered it. If I can't find it, we'll let him know, and he can either purchase the ones that we do have, and one of the ones that we do have in stock, or put his name on a waiting list to be notified when we get one in stock in the black body like he wanted. So we've actually really sold 2. But that's great. And everybody should have one of these cameras. They're wonderful cameras. I wanted to say something about Red Arrow Productions. If you go to the website, on the right-hand side, there's some advertisement, little banners there. One of them is Red Arrow Productions. And it has a pretty good variety of patriotic images and slogans, as well as historical flags. Big historical flags that you might like. There's also a special William Cooper collection of images from the Hour of the Time website. And they're all available in T-shirts, front or back, and coffee mugs. T-shirts come in small to extra, extra large. And there's extra, extra, extra large for you really huge guys or girls. That costs a little bit more. But it's all there on the website. And, of course, you got to include shipping and handling. They have mug sets and mug and T-shirt sets and flags and all kinds of stuff. This month's special on Red Arrow Productions is Ben Franklin quote, "A republic if you can keep it." And the special is 2 shirts any size and a set of mugs with shipping and handling included is $55.50. And you get a free copy of the Pocket Constitution. That's a copy of the Constitution you carry around with you like I've always recommended, like I always do. Like I have my copy of the Constitution right here. Even though I memorized it years ago, I still carry a copy. Because people don't always believe what I say. And I have to whip it out and say, hey, there it is, right there. And sometimes people come over and they'll swear that they've memorized it also, and then they'll say something that the Constitution says that I know it doesn't say, and I'll say, it doesn't say that. Well, how do you know? I said, because I really did memorize it. Well, so did I, and it does say that. No, it doesn't. And I whip out my copy, and I open it up, and I show it to them right there. There it is. You see, right there is what it really says. It doesn't really say what you thought it said. So, y'all need a copy of the Pocket Constitution. Red Arrow Productions, every time you order something from them, they'll send a free copy of the pocket Constitution with you. It's quite a nice little thing, actually. And they take cash, checks, and money orders. And if you don't want to give out your personal information or anything on their website, then there's an address there where you can send a check or money order or cash or however you want to pay for it and buy whatever you want. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is because Red Arrow Productions, because I have consented to allow them to have the special William Cooper collection of images from the Hour of the Time website. And you'll recognize some of those images there that you've seen on our website are pretty famous, as a matter of fact, including the Veritas banner, which is probably the most beautiful newspaper banner in the whole wide world. Nobody even comes close to the beauty of that and the brilliance of that banner, if I do say so myself. And the Adolf Clinton, that's William Clinton in a Hitler uniform with a little mustache and his hair combed down a little bit over his forehead. You'll see, some of the other things that our site is famous for. And if you'd like to have one of those T-shirts, or T-shirt for you and your girlfriend or your spouse or your wife or your boyfriend or your husband or your aunt and uncle or whoever you want, and some mugs or whatever, you can order a set. And it's cheaper if you order the special. This month's special is Ben Franklin's quote, "A republic if you can keep it," 2 T-shirts, any size, and a set of mugs with shipping and handling included is $55.50. So go to the website, williamcooper.com, click on Red Arrow Productions, and just, peruse a little while. Maybe you don't want to buy anything, but I guarantee you'll enjoy looking. You really will. So take a gander over there. And like I said, if you don't want to use your credit card or whatever on the internet, there's an address there where you can send your money and buy whatever it is that you want. And every time you buy something from Red Arrow Productions, they contribute a percentage of your purchase to our cause. Isn't that great? It's another way you can donate and still get something for your money in the process. Now, that's not to say that when you donate, you're not getting something for your money, because you are. You're getting this broadcast. You're getting the benefit of all my research. And, this is the only place anywhere in any media where you can count on getting the truth all the time, nothing but the truth. Occasionally we'll make a mistake. We never, ever lie to you. We never try to deceive you. There's no hidden agendas here. We're right up front with what we stand for and what we believe in, and we're not trying to manipulate you or twist you in any way whatsoever. In fact, I'll be the first one to tell you, if you don't like what you hear here, turn off your radio or turn the channel and go somewhere else. Listen to everyone. Listen to everyone. Read everything. Believe absolutely nothing, including me, anything that I say, unless you can prove it in your own research. I'm the only one that will tell you that also. The rest of them all want you to believe what they say. Not me. I want you to believe the truth, whatever the truth happens to be. You're going to get the truth here. When we do make a mistake, which is not very often, I say we, meaning me, I have never failed to correct it on the air, apologize if necessary, and make sure that you got the real skinny, guys. So, there you go about that. So go check out Red Arrow Productions. It's if you want to go directly there, it's http://www.redarrowproductions.net. That's http://www.redarrowproductions, all one word, .net. And just take a look around. You might find something that you want, that you can't do without. A lot of people have called in and said, how can we let other people know that we listen to the Hour of the Time so that we can spot each other in crowds at the state fair and stuff? Well, that's one way. Buy the T-shirts. Anybody who's ever listened to me or has ever been to our website or knows anything about William Cooper or the Hour of the Time or williamcooper.com or Veritas or anything will spot that T-shirt in a split second. And you'll hook right up. That's how you can do it, folks. We've also got some things like that in the works, too. So, there you go. Something for you to do on a rainy night. Check out redarrowproductions.net. net. Clinton, you know, I see all this stupid stuff flying around on the internet. And some people even have the gall to send it to me. Boy, do they get an earful when I send it right back to them and tell them where to stick it. And they're, red alert, flash, get ready. Clinton is going to declare martial law and he's not leaving the White House. Clinton is going to take over America and he's going to be the dictator of the world. Hey, I got one word for you guys. Bullshit. And I got one word, that describes all of you. Actually, two words. Bullshit artists. You're full of it. You couldn't scratch your own back if somebody gave you a tree branch to do it with. Stupid. So stupid, it's pathetic. No one could take over as dictator of the United States ever under any circumstances or refuse to leave the White House when they're supposed to leave it without the full and total support of the armed forces of the United States of America, which Clinton has just spent 8 years pissing off and destroying and tearing up their morale and taking away their equipment and their budget. And you're still so stupid that you're passing around these silly rumors. And one of the biggest propaganda artists that's foisting this crap on people is Larry Nichols. Stop it, Larry. If you had half a brain, you wouldn't even try to make people believe such crap. And you watch, folks. I'm right once again. And if you're sitting out there fuming, saying, Clinton's not leaving, no, he's not leaving, Cooper's full of crap. Well, we'll see, just like we always do. Cooper's right. Just like he always is. So, sorry about that. Sorry to pop your bubbles. I know you just love that kind of stuff, and you love to pass it around, and you love to get your adrenaline going and, get ready to run and hide, because all the ones that are fostering this crap, telling everybody get ready, they'll be the last ones to stand up and fight when it comes time to fight. And that's the truth. These are the little excitement junkies, the little adrenaline groupies. And quite frankly, you make me sick to my stomach. I can't stand you. Can't stand rumor mongers and liars. And you don't even have a shred of evidence to even begin to back up any of that kind of stuff whatsoever. And if you just sit down and use your common sense, if in this whole nation we could find a thimble full of common sense, you'd understand that the military wouldn't back Clinton in any such endeavor. They wouldn't back anybody in any such endeavor. You can bet on it. So, put that in your pipe and smoke it. And Clinton, he's looking for a legacy, looking just as hard as he can. Oh, he was trying real hard to make peace in the Middle East, but it's him that caused everything to fall to pieces. It's him that screwed everything up so bad that they're on the brink of a major war in the Middle East. In fact, they're already at war. To tell you the truth, they're at war in the Middle East. And it could escalate into something terrible. And I mean really terrible. And it's all Clinton's fault. And he's trying to make us believe that before he leaves office, there's going to be peace in the Middle East. And he's going to be the one who brought it all about. Baloney. Never happened. Nobody's going to bring around peace in the Middle East, for a long, long time, if it ever happens. It's just, if you study the agenda of both sides and the religious beliefs of both sides and the animosity and all of the things that have happened in the past, the chances of having any peace between the Arabs and the Jews in the Middle East is so remote. So remote. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't strive for it. We should. But it is so remote that the chances of it happening are, I don't think there's any odds or statistician that would give us any odds that would be in the favor of peace arriving within our lifetimes. And so, with that, what is Clinton's legacy? Gosh, I can't think of anything. He told us for 8 years that the economy was great, and now we're finding out it never was. It was always a lie. And it was a lie. It was based upon an artificially inflated stock market, and everybody judged their own life on how good the stock. If the stock market is soaring like that, then life must be good. And so nobody was willing to admit to anybody else that, gee, how come I'm not getting any of that prosperity? I can tell you the people in this valley haven't had any. I don't know anybody who's had any anywhere in the country. Anybody. It's phony. It's phony baloney. And it's starting to come home now. We're going to have a recession this year. How bad it will be, I don't know. We're going to find out. I'll guarantee you that. And all of this hype about, Clinton caused so many new jobs and the economy is soaring. Baloney. Baloney. It never was. And I told you that all along. For 8 years I've been telling you that it was a phony, fake, false economy based upon people's willingness to believe what the Clinton administration told them and an artificially inflated stock market. I told you those companies weren't worth that much. And look what's happening. They're starting to, people are starting to catch on. They're dumping that stock because it's not worth that much. And if they held on to that stock, eventually they'd lose their butts. And that's the truth. So there's a big adjustment taking place. And I told you that would have to happen. It would have to happen. And it's happening. And it's going to get worse. It's going to be a recession. And like I said, I don't know how bad the recession is going to be, but there's going to be a recession. So hang on to your hat. Make sure you got some real money. I'm not going to tell you where to buy it. Buy it anywhere you want. But I always thought it was really neat that somebody would actually give me something that was worth something, really worth something, for something that wasn't worth anything. I used to just laugh, when I go in and buy some gold or some silver with this worthless paper Federal Reserve notes that aren't worth anything. Say, this is crazy. It is, really is, folks. It's nuts. But that's the way. So what's the topic tonight is what's Clinton's legacy? I can't figure it out. What is his legacy? What is Clinton's legacy besides the fact that he damn near destroyed the country, damn near caused a civil war, demonized patriots and militia members who had always been the backbone of this country, who had always been the first to fight this nation's battles. He caused people to believe in an economy that was fake, false, phony. Implemented several more planks of the Communist Manifesto. Stole billions of acres of public land from the states and put most of it off limits. Has implemented regulations to close off forest and wilderness areas and close off roads and not build any more new roads. All those huge forest fires that occurred within the last 2-3 years out here in the West and other parts of the country were a direct result of the Clintonists' environmental policy of the forest, and that is not cutting back and getting rid of the undergrowth. Unsupervised burns. I talked about that here on this radio, 101.1 FM, many times here in the Valley. But I couldn't understand why they called these things controlled burns when there was nobody watching them. These Forest Service guys would go through and cut all this brush and stuff and stack it up throughout the forest and set it on fire and leave. Just leave. No water trucks, no fire trucks, no nothing. And then, if they caught you building a little bitty campfire to cook an egg in the morning, the Nazi jackbooted thugs would show up with guns and arrest you and take you to jail. At the same time that they're burning these huge stacks of wood and brush unsupervised throughout the forest. And then the whole damn forest would burn down. But none of them ever got arrested. I never could figure that out. That was beyond my understanding. It still is. I think they all ought to be in jail because that's what caused all those forest fires. It's what caused them, folks. You can bet your boots on it. And they've even admitted it. So tonight the topic of discussion is, what is Clinton's legacy? 520-333-4578. 520-333-4578. What is Clinton's legacy? I want to hear from you.
Never in human history has so few taken so much from so many as America's Illuminati and their warlords of Wall Street and Washington. In just 8 years, these banksters and international government gangsters took us from the greatest creditor nation to the largest debtor nation on earth. Our standard of living has dropped like a rock for 4 out of every 5 Americans. They have foreclosed on our homes, our farms, our factories. They've exported your jobs and surrendered our arms. They want a new world order. A new world order. A new world order. A new world order. The Illuminati wants you to be a slave from birth to grave. The banksters own the Federal Reserve. It's private. They own it. It's neither federal nor a reserve.
Well, Clinton must not have a legacy because nobody wants to play this game. The phone is not ringing, which means nobody can think of anything either. So we'll just open up the topic. Whatever you want to talk about. I knew that was going to happen because he doesn't have a legacy. There isn't any legacy except ruination, destruction, loss of freedom, demonization, people in prison that shouldn't be there. That's his legacy. He's a scum-sucking, puke-faced traitor. Always was. Always will be. He's a devout Marxist, and so's his wife. Good evening. You're on the air.
The legacy of the Clinton administration, or Bill Clinton in particular?
Yeah, either one. I don't care. If you can find one, I'd sure like to know about it.
Well, the murder of a church group at Waco, Texas, 1992.
Yeah, you got that.
The World Trade Center bombing, where the FBI informant built the bomb under the Clinton administration.
Now, did that happen in the Clinton administration?
I believe it
The
did.
World Trade Center bombing? Are you sure about that?
1993.
Okay.
Bombing of the Mirror Building in Oklahoma City, 1995.
Yep.
Destruction of the Second Amendment with the Brady Law.
Yep.
Corruption of the Justice Department under...
massive corruption of the Justice Department and using the Justice Department as a political Gestapo to go after people like me.
Exactly, and others.
Yeah. That's what I mean. People like me. Patriots.
Right. Precisely.
People who tell the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just get fired up about this.
Well, that was all I had in about the 2 minutes I thought about it.
Well, that's pretty good. pretty darn good.
Yeah, I think that I'm gonna keep this list here so that I can.
What a legacy! And he, I just read an article today in a newspaper that Clinton can't figure out why people hate him. I wonder if he ever sat down and thought about what you just said. And he can't figure out why people hate him. Why he can't figure that out?
Yeah. And the most unforgivable of all is the Brady Law.
Well, it's not the most unforgivable in my book. In a country where people founded this country to escape from religious persecution in the old world, to destroy a church.
Right.
Because they thought that maybe David Koresh had a machine gun, which would have been perfectly legal if they'd have just billed him for the $200 tax, is absolutely.
Exactly.
The most demonic thing that I can think of.
Certainly is.
And they did it for the children. You know they did it for the children because Janet Reno and William Clinton and Hillary said so. They did it for the... They even killed those children that were in there for their own good. Can you imagine? Why? We shouldn't hate him, should we?
I hate him.
Me too.
He absolutely makes me sick. He went after the group like the National Rifle Association that's been on his side the whole time practically with the IRS audits, and the IRS has audited every type of group that was even just slightly right of center.
Yeah, and all these government agents claim that they're not political, that they're serving the American people. Bullshit, lying, traitorous scum.
So they are political. They don't have any law other than what the politics of the moment is.
Here's what their law is. I will do anything that my political bosses tell me so that I don't place my retirement in jeopardy. I'll even help destroy this country or anybody in it just so that I can get mine and screw everybody else.
Bombing of a sovereign nation for 70 days.
Yep.
With uranium-depleted rounds.
Yeah, people are dying like flies over there from cancer from this stuff.
I think he's even got, I think he's been indicted for war crimes, hasn't he, somewhere?
Yeah, as a matter of fact.
And people still like him? Amazing.
Well, just the fact that he was elected to the White House says an awful lot about the downfall of the republic and the morals and ethics of the people who occupy this nation. I mean, it's okay if somebody's a liar and a rapist and an adulterer and you name it. It's all right. It's okay. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. Then they wonder why everything's going to hell in a handbasket.
They're stupid enough to believe the economy is good because they heard it on the news.
Yeah.
I talked to an old coot next to me at the NRA meeting the other night, and he says, you know what the economy means being good? I said, no. He says, it means that you got an extension on your credit card from $15,000 to $30,000.
Well, he's right.
That's exactly what it means.
That's exactly what it means.
Yeah, we were laughing. People go out to dinner and pay for it on a credit card.
Yeah.
$70. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know you don't want to hear this, but I'm really having trouble picking you up.
Yeah, I don't want to hear it. There's nothing. I don't want to hear anything that I can't do anything about. Yeah. If I can't do anything about it, we're just wasting airtime. And some people are listening and can hear it. Yeah. So let's devote the airtime.
Somebody's breaking in on you. Is what's happening.
Well, doesn't matter. Yeah. I can't do anything about it.
Okay.
I can do absolutely nothing about it.
Well, maybe after the FCC gets a new director,
it'll probably get worse.
I don't think so. What did you think of the appointment of John Ashcroft? I know it's off the topic.
I thought that was great because I thought for a while Keating, and he was really seriously thinking of putting Keating in as Attorney General of the United States. Yeah. If that would have happened, we would have been in a civil war within 3 months.
We would have been worse off than we are under.
Oh, he would have gone after patriots, and we would have had to go to a civil war in order to protect ourselves.
Danforth was another piece of filth that had been considered.
Yeah, Danforth is a phony.
It's dumb. It's absolute scum.
Yeah.
But so far, from my perspective, things can't be fixed in Washington anyway.
No, that's absolutely impossible. It's gone too far. And you heard Bush. Bush is supposed to be the leader. Mm-hmm. And you heard him during his campaign. And what was he campaigning on? Socialist principles, entitlements.
Right.
It was all socialism.
You get a choice between my socialism or the socialism you have now.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was the choice. There's no choice there for people who believe in freedom and believe in the principles and ideals upon which this nation was founded. Socialism is not acceptable under any circumstances because the ultimate goal of socialism is communism, and communism is despotism, enslavement.
Well, socialism has never been a movement of the downtrodden masses to get something. It's
always
been
a movement
of the economic elite to have it all for themselves.
Yeah, it's been the manipulation of the downtrodden masses to bring them under the control of the people who are really pulling the strings of the socialist movement.
Sure, they tell them what they want, and then they say, you voted for it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's a real sad situation, although I am more optimistic with the election of George Bush than I have been in 8 years.
Well, I think your optimism will be short-lived.
So sure, I'm real happy with some of the appointments that he's made. I haven't had anything to complain about yet, which is...
Well, you will. Just keep an eye on it. The move will still be toward one world, totalitarian, socialist government. It will be toward more globalism, more free trade between the nations. That means exploitation of the American worker and lower salaries in this country because corporations can get cheaper labor in third world nations. No tariffs, no excise taxes, none of this stuff.
I don't doubt it a bit. Just that I think what we've done by electing Bush is that we may have bought a little bit of time.
That's exactly what we've done, and that's all we've done.
And we need to really get busy because the work hasn't even begun yet.
The work won't begin until people start dying. You can't have freedom unless you're willing to die for it, which means somebody must die.
Right.
That's when the work starts.
I've always been a firm believer that the other guy should die for his cause.
Well, that's exactly the way it should be.
Right.
And I'm telling you right now, we cannot be defeated. Cannot be defeated.
I concur wholeheartedly.
Okay.
Great program. I don't know how I can pull you in better. I've got a long wire and I've been using different antennas. So
well, find an antenna expert. The whole thing about shortwave is the antenna.
Right.
And you can create antennas that are selective, and we'll just pull in one frequency and nothing else. And you can create antennas that are directional and will not accept anything that comes from any other direction except the direction it's pointed at. There's lots of things you can do. Get an expert. Don't talk about it on this show.
I'll work on it tomorrow.
All right. Thanks for calling. 520-333-4578's the number. You want to jump in here? Come on in. That was a good call and a good caller and an obviously intelligent young man. I can't tell how old people are. He sounded like a young man. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's an older man. Maybe he's just a babe in arms. Who knows? Good evening. You're on the air.
Good evening, William.
Hi.
This is Brian.
Hi, Brian.
Cincinnati. I was thinking of one thing that the military would unite behind Clinton on.
What's that?
They would all volunteer to help him move out.
Yeah, absolutely.
They would line up even on leave to do that.
I couldn't believe when he first went in the White House, he was using military aides to serve cocktails as common waiters, officers in the United States Army, Navy, and Marines to be waiters at his little soiree parties. Oh, that made me so angry. Right off the bat, that just pissed me off so bad I couldn't stand it.
Oh, yeah, he just, I always make it a habit since I've listened to you, is to watch, every one of his speeches and everything. And this man is nothing but galling to the American public. I mean, it's amazing what we've fallen to.
Yeah, and despite all his pretense, he is not a Christian. He is not religious at all, as a matter of fact. The only reason he goes to church is because
photo ops.
He has to photo ops, and he has to put up that pretense that he believes in God.
Yeah, of course, he went to Jesse Jackson, of course, to get his repentance and all that together. So
Jesse, the racist, the rabble-rouser, the opportunist. Jackson, the commie. Jackson's a communist.
Belly's up to any open microphone he can find.
Yeah. Yelling and screaming. Do you ever see him get trapped by somebody that asks pointed questions and watch him tap dance around with questions and never say anything?
Yeah, they kind of slither out back the other way, don't they?
Oh, that's so funny. I sit there and die laughing, and I just, but what is so tragic about it is there are black people out there listening to him that really believe he said something, and they hang on every word because he represents some kind of hope to them, that he sold himself to them as their savior, and he's really their enslaver.
Yeah.
I can't. It's tragic.
Well, he has that Masonic two-headed bird emblem for the back of his Cadillac, didn't he?
Sure.
So he partied out somewhere on that.
Yep, we know who he is.
Oh well.
A lot of good black people know who he is too.
I was just able to get back into your website over this weekend, and I got back into the Mystery Babylon series. And
good. Everybody should listen to that.
I offloaded the ADL series and printed that up.
Yeah, that's another organization. It pretends to represent Jews while it's practicing subversion against the nation and fomenting racial strife between all of the different racial groups. And it is a racist organization, and only Jews can be members.
Yeah,
but they're the first ones to attack you if you say that you've got a club that only blacks can be members, or only whites can be members, or only Baptists can be members. They're hypocrites, and they're liars, and they're treasonous, subversive manipulators is what they are.
And the truth can't be found in them anywhere.
No.
I could have had the opportunity to actually hear Edgar Braussman speak over at UC, but I missed out on that.
And he pretends to be such a pious, Jewish, synagogue-going man of God. Yet what does he do for a living? Manufactures hard liquor and sells it in every ghetto, in every country that he can get it into to make those poor people's lives even more miserable than what they are. And get every last nickel that he can out of their hands. Instead of spending it on their families and their children, it goes to the liquor store.
Yeah. And then if they don't sell them the liquor, they'll sell them the drugs too.
Yeah, he pretends to be a pious, wonderful man, religious, Jewish, synagogue-attending man of God who is working so hard as the head of the ADL for all humanity. Bullshit. What a lying...
I'm going to try to figure out a way to get into his next speech on campus. I'm going to keep an eye on that because...
Good idea.
You know, I've been working down there for a number of years, and I have an insider track to the whole...
Yeah, ask him how Seagram's got started.
Yeah, I'll ask him about his daddy Sam and, the Kennedys and all the different bootlegging, gin making, how to make gin in the bathtub and all that kind of stuff.
He was in cahoots with, what's his name, up in Chicago?
Al
Capone.
Yeah, Al Capone and
they were all members of organized crime. They were the mafia.
Yeah, the La Cosa Nostra.
Yeah.
Okay, Bill, well, I'll get off and let somebody else get on, but... keep up the good work, and you help re-inspire me to get off my duff and do something.
Good for you.
So, God bless you.
God bless you too, my friend.
All right, bye.
And thank you for calling. 520-333-4578 is the number. By the way, those people who ordered the cameras, I personally picked out the very best ones we have. Now, they're all good. When I say the very best, means the one that they're going to get may not have not even one single little bright spot on it where somebody, who used it before, maybe put their thumb when they held the camera. It's not going to be anything that you can notice because these are the best that there are. But those two that ordered first are getting the cream of the crop, I'm telling you. In fact, the first one they ordered is getting the one that I used as the example when I was talking about it on the air last Wednesday night. And it's a beautiful camera. Absolutely beautiful camera. These are collector's items, They're the best. 520-333-4578 is the number. Open topic, open phone. If you want to talk about the Clinton legacy, you're certainly welcome to do that. But we made the topic open, realizing that Clinton really doesn't have a legacy except of hatred and destruction and despair and death and God, you name it. Treason. You want to sum it up in one word, it would be treason. Treason. Clinton is guilty of treason. And they couldn't convict him during the impeachment. See, impeachment is just bringing charges against the president, and he has to go to trial in the Senate. Well, he never went to trial because the Senate voted not to try him. Isn't that something? He should have been tried, should have been convicted. I think he's still going to be indicted. And if he is, another one of my predictions will come true. Remember, I said Clinton will be the first president to go from the White House to the Big House. Good evening, you're on the air.
Hello.
Hello.
This is Charles from Joliet, Illinois.
Hello, Charles.
How you doing?
Good. Are you in Joliet or are you in Joliet?
Joliet, Joliet.
Yeah, but there's a prison called Joliet, isn't there?
That's right, not too far.
Okay, that's what I meant when I said that. Are you in Joliet or are you in Joliet?
I'm in Joliet, not in the prison.
Okay.
But I know what I wanted to talk to you about.
Well, I'm glad that...
It appears to me, as far as this gun control stuff, the best form of gun control is to keep both hands on the weapon. Okay? Second thing is, is the only time in any society that people aren't allowed to have weapons is if they are prisoners or they are slaves.
You got it. That's right.
The third thing is, there's no doubt in my mind this New World Order is going to come to exist. There's no doubt. But...
Well, let me put it this way. If they do, it's going to be over my dead body and a few other million patriots' dead bodies.
All right, but listen carefully.
And I'm telling you right now, if we decide to fight, we will not lose.
Hey, I know exactly what's going on. But you know, most people are laid back. They're lazy. They're selfish. They're greedy. Nobody wants to lift a hand to help anybody in this society.
Well, that's not true. Most people don't.
Well, I see it all around me all the time. And if you try to open your eyes to what's happened, only 2 out of 10 will listen.
Well, that's all you need. In fact, this morning, that's 20%. History tells us all we need is 3.5 to 5%.
Okay, now, I listen to shortwave quite a bit. I was listening to BBC about a week ago, and they're telling me that over in India that they're building tanks for the Russians, they're building aircraft fighters for Russians, and they're building an aircraft carrier.
Yeah, so we got third world nations doing the same thing for us. You see, there is no more industry in this country.
Yeah.
I mean, Japan, in fact, is in charge of building most of our defense capability.
Yeah, but here on TV they were saying like a month ago about 6 months ago, they're showing the Russian fleet docking things, and they're saying they're rotting out, they're going to blaze, they got no money to build this stuff, and now they got it.
Hey, I've been telling you guys ever since this so-called fall of the Soviet Union happened that it's a scam, it's bullshit, it's a lie. The Soviets are not destroying their atomic weapons. Their fleet is not rusting at the pier. Their air force is not grounded. And they are still one of the biggest, most powerful, major military powers in the entire world. And you better bet on it. And we are, on the other hand, dismantling our armed forces, disarming ourselves, destroying our atomic weapons. We have no more Minuteman missiles in any silos anywhere in the country. We've dismantled the Strategic Air Command and chopped up our B-52 bombers, except for just a handful.
Yeah. Well, there's another aspect to this also. The way I understand it, Clinton signed an executive order telling the banks they don't have to keep that 2% in reserve anymore.
Where's the executive order?
I don't know where it's at now, but
well,
I heard about it on one of the...
No, we don't do that. If you can't produce it, if you haven't seen it with your own eyes, and you can't be a witness with your own eyes, we don't do that. That's nothing but rumor mongering.
Oh, okay.
And it's bullshit.
Okay.
99% of what you hear on all these other so-called shortwave patriot programs and on these patriot fax networks and on these patriot email lists is 99% bullshit lie.
Okay.
Show me that executive order, and I will check with the United States government to make sure that it is real. See, it's not just good enough to show me a copy from you. I got to go to the government and compare it to one that comes from them. And if it really exists, then we can talk about it on this show. Until then, ain't no such thing.
Okay, now let's talk on something else. Now I'm an old farmer, you know, and I lived 22 years on a farm. I've been hunting since I've been 9 years old.
I'm jealous. I wish I could have lived all my life on a farm. That's where I'd rather be than here.
Hey, I'll tell you something. It's hard. It's grueling work.
Might be, but it's
14 hours a day. But that's not my point.
Yeah, it might be, but it's good, honest work.
Yeah, I know, but I did enjoy the hunting part of it, though. You know, there's no doubt about that. And what I'm saying right now in a nutshell, you talk to these old farmers, I mean real old ones, and they'll tell you straight out, in the last depression, most of what you got, you either grew, trapped, shot, or you got with these little bitty cards for gas, electricity, and meat.
Or you grew it.
Yeah, but 80% of it you got yourself.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying...
But that's the way this country always was until most of the population migrated to the cities. And then they became dependent upon suppliers.
Yeah, well, here's the whole thing. In them days, you had 1/4 the population and 20 times the farmers. Now you got 20 times the population, 1/4 the farmers. The only thing that's keeping the farmers going now is diversification of the dairy, poultry, corn, or whatever you got going, okay? That means that if the population keeps growing at this point, and this thing should happen to bottom out, you're going to have to be dependent on yourself to hunt, trap, fish, whatever.
Hey, that's exactly what I've been telling people for the last, 20 years. I've been telling them, if you're not self-sufficient, you're doomed.
Yep.
Doomed. Totally, completely doomed.
And,
I have good friends that believe every word that I told them. They've done the research, and they still won't leave Los Angeles, or New York City, or Chicago.
Yep, and what I've been telling my friends is from the dawn of time, the theologians, the Greeks, the Roman Empire, the great ones before us, all had a summer, a spring, a winter, and a fall of their existence. Now, we've gone past that 200-year reign. We're overdue, too. But we're being sold out from the inside of our country by our own people.
That's
for
right.
The last 75 years.
That's correct.
And what I'm saying to them, I said, they can promise you the moon, they can promise you anything. But when this house of cards should happen to fall, are you ready or anywhere prepared to be able to take care of your family and fend for yourself?
No, they're not. And they don't learn from history. History tells us that when the doomsday comes, when the civilization falls, when war happens, when the invading armies come, the people who live in the cities who cannot subsist from themselves are dead. They're the ones who die. They are piled in mountains of stinking, rotting flesh.
Yep, that's where your pestilence and disease came in the old days.
That's exactly right.
Yep, and nobody will work for nothing, and nobody's going to want to get near a corpse that's got full of disease and stuff.
Yeah.
And what I keep telling people is, do not leave weapons in your homes. What you want to do is you want to get cosmoline if you can get it. If you can find an old-time surplus person like back 20 years ago, I got like 80 pounds of it, all right? And you want to pack a good 12-gauge. You want to pack 4-shot, 6-shot for rabbit and pheasant. And then you want to take and put an 06 or 308, whatever you prefer, and pack about 900 to 1,000 rounds.
No. I disagree with that. You're talking survivalists. I'm talking if we don't fight for our freedom, we won't have it. We won't be able to restore a constitutional republican government or invent a new government or anything else. If all we're going to do is survive until somebody else does it for us, we're going to be at mercy of whoever that is.
Yeah.
So this survivalist crap, that's bullshit.
Okay, now let me...
No, it's total bullshit. We're going to have to fight for what we're going to get out of this, or we're going to be at the mercy of whoever does. And I don't want that to be just anybody.
Okay, now the way I understand it, the United Nations was built by, or really supported and started by the Bilderbergers, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the same one.
Nope, the United Nations was founded, was built, was implemented, was promoted, was financed by the government of the United States under Franklin Delano Roosevelt and Harry S. Truman.
Okay.
They were created. In fact, the whole thing was put together after World War II by Harry S. Truman after Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who had laid the foundation for it, died. And the Rockefeller family, all they did was donate the land where they built the United Nations building.
Okay, but wait, what was the other thing I heard about? Okay, I don't know if this part's true.
But stop hearing things and do some research. The information's there. All you got to do is look for it and find it. And if you can't find it, don't talk about what you heard, because what you heard is usually bullshit.
Okay. I thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you for calling. You had a lot of good information. I enjoyed our talk. 520-333-4578. Folks, I'm not interested in rumor. I don't care what you heard. I want to know what you found, what you discovered, what you researched, what the truth is. Do you understand that by now? That was a good call. He had a lot of good stuff to say. But by golly, I heard this and I heard that. Don't cut it on the hour of the time. Good evening. You're on the air.
How you doing, Bill?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Are you the one that sent me the sausage?
No.
The smoked sausage? Whoever sent me the smoked sausage, thank you very much.
Yeah, I want smoked sausage, too.
Oh, it's the best smoked sausage I've ever eaten in my life. I'm just enjoying it. And he sent me 2 huge, giant packs of it. And, man, is it good. And it's obviously homemade.
Good. I don't know how to say this, but I think Bill Clinton's legacy will be that he presided over the accelerated breakup of the United States of America.
Well, you may be right about that, because he certainly succeeded in widening the divisions between races and classes and peoples and organizations and religions and you name it. I mean, he's fractured this country.
See, Bill, I see it getting more fractured.
Yeah, well, you're right.
All the time. And
that's the reason for cultural diversity. That's
exactly.
the reason for allowing so many illegal aliens to come into the country and stay here. It
exactly.
fractures our traditions. It fractures our culture. It fractures the country. And it creates this huge class of poverty which screams for socialism because that's what Marx promised.
Well, let's suppose, Bill, that the middle class stays a sheeple. And all of a sudden they wake up and it looks, somebody presents an idea, one of these think tanks, to divide this baby up into 4 parts. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And you got suits for reparations coming from the blacks, right?
Oh, you'd have to have a black nation.
Right.
You'd have to have a white nation.
Right.
And you'd have to have a liberal nation.
You'd have to have a multicultural nation. You'd have to have a Mexican nation. You'd have to have a state.
No, you'd have to give the whole Southwest back to Mexico.
That's what I'm saying. So
yeah, I know exactly what I've thought this over many times. I know exactly where that's going.
And I think, I've just thought about this lately, and I already know where I'd go.
Well, don't keep us in suspense.
I'd go to the white nation. Hopefully.
Why?
Because hopefully it would be understood that it would be a no-income tax area.
Let me tell you what it would be. It would be a national socialist nation. It would be socialism, which would eventually fall into communism. Because people who believe that way are Nazis at heart.
Well, that's what we have now.
Well, it may be what we have now, but it's not what I want. Where I would go, I would look around to find an army of people who think like me, and I'd reestablish this nation as a constitutional Republican government, as it was founded to be, and anybody who came against us would just have hell to pay.
Well, that's what I'd like to do too. However, there's one problem with that.
Then get with us.
We got too many sheeple here.
Wherever you go, you're going to have sheeple. You go to your so-called white nation, and you're going to be a sheeple under a Nazi government with a little Hitler in charge.
Well,
how would you like to have Reverend Butler up there giving his speeches at the Chicagoenburg rally?
Well,
that's what you would have.
Well,
and of course, there would be one religion. That would be the Volk religion, headed by Pastor Pete Peters. And if you belong to any other religion, you'd go to a concentration camp and probably be worked to death or killed or shot.
Well,
that's what you'd have.
There's not enough of that view to. I think you'd have a place where it would be low taxes. It had to be. If they put out a plan.
My friend, you're dreaming. You are absolutely dreaming. People who believe in that race nonsense, that there is a master race and a race that's better than everybody else, and we have to have a country all of our own.
Well, I'm saying
they're not just going to give you low taxes and leave you alone. If you think
they're leading us down this road.
So what? Get some balls and stand up and oppose it. Don't look for some white Jesus in a Nazi nation who's not Jesus at all, but it's going to be a phony imposter to save your ass.
I'm not looking for any.
The hell you're not. What it sounds like. I would go to the white nation where they'd have less taxes. Come on.
If that's the way it was set up, that's where I go.
My friend, you need to go to Walmart and purchase some brains. Good night. God, I never heard such stupidity. Well, that's not true. I hear such stupidity every day, all the time. Whoever stands up and presents himself as your Savior, as Jesus or your Savior or the Messiah or whatever it is, with a white nation or a black nation or whatever, is going to be the Antichrist, if there is one. Good evening, you're on the air.
Yes, Mr. Cooper. Ryan, South Carolina.
Hi, Ryan.
Excuse me. You talked about Clinton and his legacy. I got a question for you. When you were fighting the IRS in court,
yeah,
were winning,
and
challenging them to show a law, which we know doesn't exist, for you to pay income tax. Do you think if it wasn't Clinton, do you think you would be in the situation you're in now?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Immunity or
I really don't know. Nobody has used government agencies to go after his enemies like Clinton has. Ever in the history of this country.
Yes.
Nobody has.
Well, I just wondered.
So I don't think that I would be in this position.
You don't? Do you think you would have been able to go on through with the Freedom of Information Act that you had seen it?
Yeah, and I think I would have. In fact, I know I would have beaten them in court. I had them beaten in court. That's why they did what they did. That's the only way they could stop the court action was to lie to a grand jury, not allow me to testify to the grand jury, because if I'd have testified to the grand jury and showed them all the evidence, they couldn't possibly have indicted me.
The evidence that there is no evidence for the income tax law.
That's right. And also the fact that they were doing it only to prevent themselves from being whipped in court.
Right.
Because no grand jury would allow them to do that. They say, hey, you finished the court thing there, and if you win, then you come back and try to indict him. You see, they're scum.
Well, we know that, sir.
They're scum.
Yes, we know that.
So we're out of time. I'm going to let you go.
Yes, sir.
Good night. Thanks for calling. Good night, folks. God bless each and every single one of you. Good night, Annie Pooh and Allison. I love you.
All of a sudden, in the middle of the night, there's a loud knock on your door. Hey, honey. Something's not right.
Throw out your arms. Let law pass through. We're here from the government. We're here to help you.
And I'm from the IRS with a power to tax. If you've got a complaint, pay us a back.
Get out of this house. Surrender your guns. Give me your gold. You can obey if you want it to hold. As producer, and do what you're told.
Hillary Shalala, Reno Janet Dyke, reading the words of General Albert Pike, demonic founder of the Ku Klux Klan, engineer of the Masonic Master Plan. Pike said Lucifer is God across this land. And Clinton saying take the mark in your right hand. While we're all dancing to the drums of a fourth Reich, Clinton's preparing it for another huge tax hike. Order out of chaos, depression, inflation creates a panic and rapes the nation. Crisis creation. Incite black and white. Program agitation.
Don't make sense. You're surrounded by the UN in white and blue. The ATM, the men in black, of the One World Order.
But it's not new. Iron Mountain, computer beasts, and cattle mutilations. Black projects, UFOs, and weird genetic combinations. The Nazi doctors didn't die? Come on, get him. They came here with the OSS, your Operation Paperclip. National ID, debit card? Yeah. Vaccination biochip, milk carton kids, genetic engineering. Clinton says her health plans for you and your own good. Sure. And Adolf Hitler's Robin Hood.